I was like, well, that's way more expensive than I thought.
That was my interest rate.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. So I got to pay this back in 12 months? That's not what I thought.
We're trying to build something here. We're not looking. I don't want you to think you're being treated as employee. I mean, we're trying to build a culture and a company here. The reason we hired a VA was because we need to buy back some of our time so that way we can focus on our business and not working in our business.
Welcome back to the Investor Unite podcast, where we talk all things real estate, business, and entrepreneurship.
If you are looking to unite your real estate investing, then join us on Investors Unite. And on today's podcast, we have two young studs who are absolutely killing it in the real estate market of York, PA. You know, a rather competitive market, but they're definitely making their way through it and showing some of these big gurus, you know, what they can do. They've done a lot as far as 42 units to date right now, plus actually this building itself is an absolute beautiful building. You guys have a pretty substantial partnership one as well, 34 units in total. Right. We'll get into that story a little bit about the postmaster. So,
Can't wait to dive into that.
So yeah, I mean, these guys, once again, the younger crew, you know, they're
Only 27 years old.
27. Yeah. So close to our age, and they've known each other for a long time, just like Stefanie and myself. So I can definitely relate to a lot of your situations, I'm sure. But without further ado, let's introduce Gavin and Grant.
Hey, should we do like a handshake, or should that have been that should have been like it would have been cool if we had like a little
It's just like
next time in like a year or two.
of course.
Most definitely. Shout out to Eric Brewer for the connection.
Yeah, shout out.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So yeah, let's start off with you guys' journey and then how you guys came together and had the partnership.
Sure. What's your story? How do
Your origin story?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just dive into how Grant and I met. So we were freshmen, and right. So we were freshmen in college, and I was at this party so I went to West Shore, he went to Spring Grove, here in New York, and then I was at this party in Spring Grove, so his hometown. And
I don't party.
not we don't do that.
Yeah, that's so funny because we're the he made me party and then I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I was
always just joking, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we like to have fun here and there. So yeah, I was at this party and I met Grant there, and through two really good friends of ours now that we're all still hanging out all the time together. And I invited like all of those guys over to my house the next day, my parents' house, and still living at home in college. And I was having a huge fire the next night. And Grant and I like kicked it off a little bit, and then didn't really talk, didn't get his number, nothing. Like that was pretty much it. And then the next morning, he woke up and he texted our friend Gibby, and he was like, "Yo, so what's good with Gavin's fire tonight?" And like he showed up, talked to my dad for like an hour.
Invited myself.
Yeah, pretty much just invited himself, and we kicked it off. So that's the first time we ever met, and we realized then like our wives were hanging out now, girlfriends at the time. We're hanging out together. You know, we're already really in it. Yeah.
I did notice the ring, so congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
And you had mentioned children.
Yep.
Do you as well?
No kids yet.
Not yet. Is it on the way?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Nice. That's
hopefully.
exciting. Congratulations to both of you, though.
Thanks. Just a golden doodle right now.
Yeah. It has plenty of responsibility.
Yeah.
This thing's gonna be hyper. How old?
Yeah.
2.
Two? Yeah, it's still baby.
Young girl. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Yes. Yeah.
Nice. So that was what you said, like first year of college.
Yeah, freshman year of college, going into sophomore, 2015.
Yeah, sounds right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
Years ago.
You went to Bloomsburg for business, so you actually kind of followed that path, and you went to Millersville for science.
Control systems engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's very specific.
yeah.
Thought there'd be a lot of money in it.
Okay.
So it was for a while, but it wasn't my main interest.
I got you.
I could go into a little bit of how I got started in real estate because it starts in college.
Sure. Yeah.
So junior year of Millersville, I got an internship in Shrewsbury. So I'm commuting from Lancaster to Shrewsbury, 40-minute drive, 45-minute drive, and it just got so boring. So my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, was like, "Well, you should try podcasts." I'm like, "No, podcasts are super lame. Like, I don't want to listen to that."
It was too podcasts.
Well, I thought our podcast wasn't out then.
Yeah, I thought that at the time, and I listened to a podcast. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm wide awake the whole time. I'm so engaged." And I, of course, found Bigger Pockets.
Oh yeah.
And on the very first time I listened to Bigger Pockets, I heard Brandon Turner say, like I always heard, like you get rich in real estate, you can be so wealthy. You know, how does buying houses make you any money? They're expensive.
Yeah.
And I heard Brandon Turner say, well, you know, your expenses are only $1,000 and your tenant's rent is $1,500. And I was like,
Starting to make sense now.
it all makes sense now. That's $500. And ever since, I was obsessed. And I listened to 2 podcasts a day, to and from, for probably the next 3 years, all the way through college until I got out and went home and lived at home for like a year and a half, maybe. And every day I went home and talked about, like, I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a house. And so I bought my first home to live in with my fiance.
Did you house hack?
Nope, it was a single family
Oh,
home.
listen to bigger podcast.
No, I didn't. I was too, I don't know, egotistical maybe. I just wanted my own place. And I always felt like I was a homeowner at heart. I wanted to take care of a house. So I got engaged and settled on my first house on the same week,
Oh, wow. That's scary.
January of 21.
Some big news.
And then not until December of 21 was I bought my first round.
Congratulations.
And now
Was that together or?
that was actually on my own. I partnered with my brother at the time because we were going to use his FHA financing.
Yeah.
I had this grand plan. I heard it on Bigger Pockets. I use your financing. I'll manage it. I'll basically burr it myself. His financing fell through like 2 or 3 days before settlement. So I got a hard money loan, like within 24 hours.
That's pretty impressive for being involved in real estate.
I had no experience. I asked my agent. I was like, "What do we do? I need any financing." Well, I know this hard money lender. Okay.
Hook me up.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, well, that's way more expensive than I thought it was
What's
going
my
to
interest rate on that?
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. So I got to pay this back in 12 months? That's not what I thought. So anyway, I was like, well, I guess we're burning this thing.
Yeah.
And that deal was what changed it all. It was a 3-unit Lancaster City, great property now, but it was a dump when I bought it, of course. And my dad and I fixed it up ourselves, like after work, before work, Saturday, Sunday, every day for 8 months.
Wow.
Are you guys in construction at all, or is this just
My dad can do basically everything. He's a millwright for a long time, and he taught me everything I know as far as construction, welding, cars, anything you can think of. So we did that together, and 8 months later, finally was done and refied it. I think I bought it for $260, appraised for $425, and I was hooked.
That's amazing.
And the lesson I learned was, when I ran the renovation costs, I went on Home Depot and I added up all the materials I thought I needed, and I never once considered the cost of labor because, we're going to do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, 8 months, every single day, every single night was not worth it. So my lesson there was, you need to factor in some labor costs and hire someone else to do it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm the same way. I'm like a very like frugal penny pincher. Like if I can do it, I'm gonna fucking do it. That's exactly how it was when we first started in real estate. I came to the same conclusion very fast.
Yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
They're like toughest lesson.
Because if I would have been the only one doing the renovation on these properties, we would still be at 2 doors.
Get volume to it.
Right, exactly.
I'm curious, how much was the cash out refi on that one?
What do you mean?
So you bought it at 260. It appraised at 425.
Yeah.
How much did you pull out?
I got 80% LTV. I think I might have broke even because, again, my lack of experience, I went through a broker and I think I paid somewhere between $18,000. I paid like $18,000 of closing costs to refi that.
It's horrible.
And so I ended up not really pulling any money out. I got my money out that I put in the deal initially, but I didn't make any cash on it.
Yeah.
And then since, like I said, I partnered with my brother, he didn't really have much interest in it. So since I bought him out, and then I went on and bought 2 more properties with that entity of my own prior to us getting together.
Gotcha. And that's actually like a huge tip right there. We just kind of brushed past it. Brushed past it. Anyways, Stefanie and myself, we've done the same thing ever since we bought our first property, where we were going through using broker and then they're finding lender. We never really went straight through like a federal credit union or anything like that. So our very first refi, just a duplex, I believe our fees came out to like $8,000-ish.
Maybe a little higher than that.
A little higher than that on our first refi. So we're like, that's a lot higher than I expected. Yeah. And then the second one was a big commercial property. It was a 5-unit over on Wiccanisco Street in Harrisburg. And our refi fees came to $29,000 on that build.
Sheesh.
Not something we ever expected. So
Yeah, you probably don't budget for that.
I mean, thankfully we bought it low enough.
Yeah.
So like we were still able to pull something out, right?
Good.
But
Gotcha.
that was a huge learning lesson. And then we just recently switched over to using Hershey Federal.
Nice. Heard great things about it.
Absolutely amazing.
We've got a lot of
Recommend it, no doubt.
awesome.
We just refied 2 of our residential properties, both multifamily, but still residential. Less than $1,000 a piece.
Yeah.
We're like,
Same here.
oh my God.
We're using First Capital now in New York.
Yeah,
Same thing when we heard it was $1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This can't be
I was like, what other strings are attached? No, that's it.
yeah, wow.
Great terms too. Phenomenal terms. Like everything that we're looking for.
So, and that we'll jump into it too. But the first deal we did together, I was not accepting those terms again. So, I mean, I called probably 30, 40 different lenders.
Yeah.
And it on like the 38th one, he was the one, well, you're not going to get good terms from me. I'm just being honest with you, man. Why don't you try your local credit unions?
Like one of the first.
What can they do? And I didn't think anything of it. And we called them, and he called them actually. And he texted me as he's talking to him, like the terms. I'm like, there's no way this is right.
He didn't believe it.
This isn't right.
I was shocked.
80% LTV, no prepayment, $1,200 origination.
Dude, I had
What else? You name it. And I was like, I called them right after he got fired, and I verified it because
I had to make sure.
because I had swung it over so bad. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, scarred. Yeah.
I had the same experience. I was just at work driving my forklift around. I still work a full-time job as well.
Okay.
Anyways. And she had given me a call, and she was like, yo, like, I'm going over this refi HUD, and, like, you're not going to believe it. It's like, what? She was like, our refi costs in total are less than $1,000.
That's so.
I was like,
No,
this is
I was like,
You're so tight thinking about those that 5 unit, that's 4 now.
I was like, okay, like, that's fucking insane.
Checks out.
Yeah.
That's
right.
good. I went, signed all the papers, and I was talking to, the guy's name is Mike at Hershey Federal, and, like, he told me some stuff that was actually, I'm not allowed to repeat on this podcast.
Sure.
Confidentiality reasons, I guess. But yeah, no, they're like,
Sounds like good stuff.
he's well aware of, and their fees being a lot lower.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a huge learning lesson. Just audience, shop around before you refi.
So yeah, definitely take the time, make
Take
the
the first two.
and record who you called too, and like take notes, record phone numbers, build a lenders list.
No, good idea. So
Rates.
as far as you go,
want to dive into your story. Like, how did you get into real estate fully?
Yeah. So my wife's stepfather has been in real estate for over a decade and a half, and when I was in college, my junior and senior year, he would always talk about real estate and like, oh, I made $40,000 this month on real estate, and like, oh, I bought a crazy deal. You got to see this, and he would like show me stuff, and I had no clue. I'm a 21-year-old kid. I was super young for my class, and I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. Like, but I was looking at him like, that's cool. Like, I like money. That sounds fun. And then I rented for 2 years in Florida, and every time I would actually write out checks, and I would go hand them, deliver it, and for rent. Every single time, I'm like, why am I writing these checks? I want to be the one on the opposite end, having in the back of my mind. Yeah. Like, I want to be on the other end of that. So started like doing the same thing, like reading books, podcasts, and then after we moved back from Florida, bought a 2-unit. So we lived in it. We house hacked it. So me and my wife and our son at the time. So and so we all lived there in 1-bedroom place. We made it work. For 2 years. It was good. But so still have that today, obviously, and moved out, got a house. But that's on the avenues in downtown in New York here.
okay.
So it's a great spot. We just bought a townhome that we're converting into 2 units, actually, right down that 1 block down the road. Looked at a couple deals on that block. It's a great location. Avenues are great for New York City. Actually, they're not. They're terrible. Don't buy there.
That's right.
Kidding. It's great. Yeah, there's plenty to go around.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's how I got involved in real estate, and then was walking deals on my own, running numbers on my own, and I'm like telling Grant about this deal, and I'm going to walk on Pennsylvania Ave. I'll never forget. And I think it was 700 block, and then we actually ended up going and walking it together, like 2 months later, because it was under contract. My offer didn't get accepted. It was under contract, fell through like a month or 2 later, and then Grant and I went and walked it again, and we found a different one. We found 219 Roosevelt Avenue. So then Grant introduced I was like, dude, why don't we do this together? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. So we were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we teamed up in the beginning of January in 2023, January 2nd, filed for our LLC, January 21st, 19th, right around there. It was like 3 weeks.
Look at this. Oh, you mean when we got that right?
Yeah, we got our
Yeah,
property,
right.
219.
It was so weird. Like, we were so skeptical. Like, I feel like we were hesitant. Like, I don't know if we should partner. Like, I heard a lot of bad things about partnerships. And it's just the most natural partnership now.
I was just going to say that exact word. Like, the way you guys came together seemed like very natural.
Yeah,
very complementary skill
we have
sets and
like
know each other.
complementary is in the opposite too.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are friends to begin with, so it makes it 10 times easier.
True, totally.
Actually trust each other.
Sure. We didn't just meet last year or a week ago, you know.
Exactly.
Like,
And that's
that
kind of
helps.
crazy though. So you said 2023, and now we're in 2024 towards the end, and you guys have 42 units. Scaled pretty fast.
Does that include this?
That's just
No,
Realistically.
we honestly don't really count this.
Because you don't have 100%.
It's we're still working on it.
not our brainchild, but we're the managing partners.
Yeah, yep.
You got some equity.
Yeah, so we're doing well.
But yeah, we bought 9 units the first year and 22 this year. 23 so far this year.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Probably some more yet to go, I'm sure.
Nice. Do you have anything
Always looking.
big in the pipeline right now?
One under contract, 3 unit under contract. That's a beautiful building that we're super excited about.
And the conversation that we were having right before we actually turned on the cameras here is that you guys just hired your very first VA, right?
Yeah.
Where this is something that this is mainly Stefanie's idea, so I have to give her props for it. But she's the one who's like, let's hire. And I was
That's
like,
cool.
dude, we don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
He's talking
That was me.
right, exactly.
I mean, like, you know, and he's like asking about how we can spend like $12 an hour. I'm like, no, we can't.
And my job,
I don't know. I thought VAs were like $4 an hour. Why are we looking in that market?
expensive VAs.
But now maybe talk about who we got our VA from. Great guy. I love to shout him out.
Yeah.
Ephro. So we got it from him, and he's based out of Lancaster, and he started a VA company. As of mid-September, early September, he had 16 VAs of 2024. That is, and yeah, he's phenomenal to work with. He makes the process extremely easy and hassle-free, and he's very easy to communicate with, very easy to get a hold of. Answered all of our concerning questions that we had. Took plenty of time, set up meetings with us and VAs. If we didn't like a certain VA, just didn't feel like it was a good match, send us to the next one. If we didn't feel like it was a good match, send us to the next one, and just cycle them through. He's got a coach, I guess you could call it, who works directly with that VA. So every morning we jump on a call. We talk for 15 minutes about what we're going to do that day, how the day went yesterday, get feedback. Like to start out Mondays with a little bit of positivity and like a good highlight of what happened last week. We're only got to do that once.
That's so funny.
But
the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's great. The pitch that we had was, we're trying to build something here. We're not I don't want you to think you're being treated as an employee. I mean, we're trying to build a culture and a company here where we want everybody to have, an opinion and be heard and, just
Have a voice.
Yeah, right. So just, I think it's a healthy relationship when it's like that, when you feel like,
It's like
you're
a
contributing.
family.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to build.
Curious how often you guys like work with your VAs directly?
Every
day.
So
Except for Friday.
Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Which they still work on Friday, but we don't make them attend a meeting.
Nice.
Sure. So yeah, if you want us to lay it out, maybe we can tell you just like
Yeah, what do your meetings look like?
yeah, totally. So Monday is like KPI overview of last week. So we're just looking at how many calls they made, how many contacts they made, what the ratios are looking like, cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. Just seeing how their numbers are doing, make sure they're not popping up as scams.
Holds us accountable too. So they'll see our numbers as well with the calls we make and stuff, but also go over some motivation stuff. Yeah. Kind of like where the company is at that current time. And then Tuesdays is our deal breakdown. So as they, they're cold callers. So some are cold callers right now. As they grow into the business, then eventually we'll have them as like follow-up specialists. So we want to make sure that they know how to do deal breakdowns and stuff like that. And then Wednesdays are kind of like Motivation Wednesday, but Sale Training Wednesday as well. Okay. Then Thursdays is call recording day. So we'll go over call recordings, and then we'll also do some role playing as well.
And how long are you guys meeting in each of those meetings? Or each 30 minutes?
Yeah, that's a piece, and it's just at the very beginning of their shifts.
Are you guys doing the sales training on that? Or are you outsourcing that to train them or what?
So, I mean, we definitely give like our bits of advice, what we can. I mean, obviously, we've only been in the industry for a couple of years. So, right. So we do as much as we can, but we actually just go straight through YouTube. Whereas some of these top performers, I mean, they have solid hour-long videos.
Free.
Tell them to watch things. Great.
Well, we'll actually just pull it up on the Zoom, so Stefanie will just screen share it. We'll watch it all together, and then as soon as we're done, we'll go over and be like, what did you learn? What did you like? What don't you agree with?
It's my method, yeah.
Thank you. So
Sounds pretty familiar a little bit, kind of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, just figuring it out, like, wait it.
I highly recommend it. I mean, it seems to be working really well so far, and you talked about culture, which is something that we're really trying to integrate into our team as well. So we have core values, which is something that we wanted everybody to contribute on. It's like, what do you guys feel as though is necessary to have as a core value?
Yeah.
Right. So
Great.
we have 4 main ones. You want to go? You want to discuss them?
Yeah, so we have positivity, we have faith, transparency, and then this is bad that I can't think of that. Yeah, this makes us look bad.
I want to guess accountability.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, adaptability.
Ah, that's close. That's a good one too. That's a great one. Yeah, that's great. That's
Oh, man.
No, leave it
We're still switching it up all the time.
yeah, great. Yeah.
But
That's
like
cool.
with positivity, like we always make sure we go over daily wins. Like that's the first and foremost.
Yeah, that.
Set the tone for the meeting.
Right. Small wins matter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we
And then
really run things.
faith is definitely coming from Stefanie's end, which I'm trying to get better at. I will say. But she is huge.
Trusting in God through the process, honestly. And,
Definitely.
you know, we don't push faith on like anyone, but it's just something we all agreed upon
Right.
as well.
And their religion, just being from Ethiopia, is they're all Muslim except for
Muslim and Christian.
Christian, except
Yeah.
for the one, right?
Gotcha.
So, I mean, feel free to express like their religions, talk about our
Yeah,
religion.
very open.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a learning experience on both ends,
Nice.
honestly. And like we make sure that they have off for their holidays, religious holidays. Get paid, everything
That's a
like that.
great idea. Have to
Yeah,
metals out there.
These are
Right, exactly.
these are fun details. We never had an employee before.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this is just what we've learned throughout the time.
Yeah.
We still have
How long have you been in business or had an MBA?
been in business. I want to say
2022, February of 2022.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Why
And
not?
I got an MBA in June of 22.
Okay. So a couple months.
that was like
Kid.
very fast.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's where I was
for you
like,
guys.
still nervous. I was like, dude, we
I mean, good
deal
for you guys
Yeah.
for crushing it.
Well, it's awesome that you were like, we gotta hire. So I was like, no, we don't. I'm not in quick.
How's it work with your work schedule and
right. So
every day in with the A's?
I'm exhausted every day, but you know,
Like 16-hour day.
Hear that?
it honestly works really well. So typically, Stefanie is very much so a morning person. So she gets up typically between 4 and 5 on most
Right,
days.
yeah.
Some days she slips up and goes to 8. Yeah, so she gets up, does her workout, morning routine, everything like that. She's very disciplined and organized when it comes to that. And then she's able to kind of gather everything for the day. Like she takes care of a lot of the day-to-day responsibilities in the morning. I work from 6 a.m. until 2:30 every day.
So that's not bad.
Right. No, not at all. So from 2:30 to 3 o'clock is when we have our half-hour meeting. So as soon as I clock out, I'm instantly hopping on that Zoom call, like on the ride home or on the way to the office, whichever thing I'm doing that day.
Yep.
And yeah, from there, I mean, Stefanie, you tend to end around like 4 or 5,
Yeah, it just depends when I start.
somewhere around there. And then I try to do a lot more of like but yeah, it would be acquisitions. Like if we have appointments or something, I'm going on those. Sometimes I'll stay later at the office just doing some deal analysis, go to check out properties, check all contractors, whatever's going on there. Bunch of like kind of different tasks all over.
Sure. Yeah.
She's much more of like the computer person. I'm much more of like the in-person.
Being in the field. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How is it for you guys? Like, number one, are you guys 50-50 partners?
We are.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything's 50-50 and we definitely act that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm,
Same, yeah.
I'm like the integrator, project renovations, maintenance.
Okay.
He's everything else. So like all the people problems, the leasing, you name it.
We both do it. Like,
I can't even count all the things he does.
we both do. I would say a fair amount of like deal searching, deal diving,
Yeah.
running. Like we do a lot of things.
That's
together,
process
too.
split down the middle.
Like
We do a lot of that.
Yeah. We both run numbers, and we'll run our each own numbers and then come together too.
Yeah.
If we don't have time to do that, we'll both just jump on real quick and be like, dude, we got to get this offer in. Like the last one we just got.
Yeah.
Or like, dude, we got to pull this up real quick. Like,
Yeah,
an
drop
offer
everything.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
And did you guys figure out kind of what your strong suits were in the beginning, or did you just figure out like what task you enjoyed doing, what task you're better at doing, and then formed it that way?
It took some time for me personally because I wasn't quite sure like what all roles were involved in real estate.
That's
when you
true.
first
That's
get
something
in.
no one talks about.
It's like, holy shit, like this needs to get handled. This has been, we got to set utilities up for this company.
I don't want to do it. I'm trying to get out of it.
So it took me a couple months, and then after just being involved in ESA for quite a while, sorry, let me back up real quick. Not a long time at all. Once you're in for a couple weeks, months, you start to get the hang. You start to see where some holes are, start to plug them. We're still filling them. We're still working on our business every day. That's the reason we hired a VA was because we need to buy back some of our time so that way we can focus on our business and not working in our business.
Yeah.
Like we need to focus on the business, build systems, build more systems out, prioritize certain tasks that need to be handled. And those lower dollar level tasks, to put it in a respectable way, is, you know, something that we shouldn't be doing at this point in our business, you know, so we can afford VA. So that's why we did that. So.
Now I'm curious because we have this problem right now of paying ourselves because we're just like, let's just fund the company.
Sure.
And I'm over here. Sometimes like I'll be struggling because he has his W-2 job and then I'm just focused on the real estate. And then it's so how do you guys like pay yourselves?
So we don't, only in like the event of a big refi or sale.
Tax free.
Everything else goes back into the business. And a great mentor of ours actually went through, like I told him every number in our bank account and what we have going on, and how many projects are underway. And he gave us such specific advice, and it was awesome. Yeah. It was great to hear like some actual context from someone who's done it. And what he, it was Ryan Schaefer.
Okay. Oh, sounds Ryan. Yeah.
So to just have some type of context as like where we're sitting capital wise versus like our projects, and you know, we had no context before. We were just winging it.
Yeah. So what was his opinion in your current status? Was it like you guys are doing good, or it's like, oh, you're missing a shit ton here?
You got to ramp up that operations account.
Okay.
You need more. You just need more cash.
Dollars.
Yeah. Primarily just cash for renovations or things that blow up.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And so we did. We definitely improved things like immediately. We switched immediately and changed our strategy. So yeah, if like it's a big refi, we'll take like 10% of that refi.
Yeah.
Everything else goes back in the business.
Okay.
But as far as cash,
Rent checks or
we don't.
anything,
we don't
continue to fund.
We don't touch the cash or
business. And
do you guys have a reserve set up for each property? This
is great.
Can I go down this road?
Please, I want you. That's why I'm because I can't wait.
So we worked with a bank in town that was recommended to us for quite a while, and we thought, man, this is the way to go. Another mentor recommended to us, who I won't name, and we worked with them, and we had an account set up for every single property, like individually, and then a security deposit account, and like
Checks for each account.
we had a rehab account for every project we had going on also.
Wow.
So
By the time we got to 5
I
properties,
think I might have been carrying around 12 checkbooks.
Yeah.
I would have.
It was absurd.
That's a lot.
And part of that was our fault that we set it up that way, but then part of it was like the bank was just super inconvenient for everything we wanted to do. So we switched banks, and now we have one ops account, one rehab account, and yet one security deposit account, and a profit account, and that's it. And so that, has certainly helped.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we're actually still trying to figure out for ourselves, like in the process of where we do have. So this is okay. That's a whole separate question. Anyways, so I'll get there eventually.
Okay.
But our accounts, so we have Sky Resort Investments, and then we have Sky Resort Rentals, and then within the investments account, obviously business checkings, business savings, and then that's it. Taxes in that account as well. So separate account with taxes, obviously. And then the rentals account, once again, checking, savings, and then we have security deposits as another account. We don't have taxes in that account.
I don't know.
I don't think.
What are you paying taxes for?
So we still, I wish we were. Which is actually something that we're still trying to do as well. We need a better CPA, right? So if you guys know anyone, please feel free to let us know.
We definitely got you, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because we've been shopping around a little bit, and everything is not looking the best just because our bookkeeping has been lacking.
Sure.
And
we're all surprised that you said you don't have a BA for bookkeeping or any back-end work.
Oh, we tried that.
We tried.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
You got to work it out up front first.
Exactly. And see, I feel like we have to figure it out for ourselves first, just like see how it even works.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to teach a VA and make sure that she's following whatever guidelines we already have set for ourselves. But see, we didn't even know what we were doing, which is horrible because that's something we really preach to a lot of like the newbies that we're talking to. It's like, we're gonna hire a VA, like make sure you know their task 100%. That's something we slacked off on.
Sure.
Neither one of us are accountants.
Yeah, we didn't. But we did a lot. We've been building like a VA handbook for months, preparing for this day. We didn't really know when we would hire a VA, and then eventually we were just like, something happened, pull the trigger back. Yeah, we pulled the trigger. And so that VA handbook is there, and it's great, but a lot of it was missing still. And so it actually forced us to systemize a lot of parts of our business, which helped a ton. So like in my head, I'm thinking, we're not ready for this. I don't want to pay, that much per hour for a V8. And then, on the other hand, it's like, that is such small-minded thinking. Like, we're growing a business here. We need more people involved. So it's going to force us to create the systems and force us to, think about what we're doing rather than just doing it every day or jumping from bookkeeping and jump into deal analysis, like categorize and systemize.
Yeah. Speaking of mindset, which I know we didn't really talk about this too much, but when you guys quit your actual job and went just full-time real estate, was there a huge mindset switch there? Like, did you notice it?
It was the weirdest thing.
It was the weirdest thing?
Yeah.
It's like not having to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day to go to a W-2 job.
I woke up at 4 a.m. the next day.
Yeah. I was up earlier than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited to do what I wanted.
Right.
Okay. What I was passionate about, yeah.
Yeah, because that's something that, once again, like I'm still in the process of doing myself. And I know that day's coming very soon. I can't wait for that day. But it is such a major hurdle and just a huge leap of faith. Right. So it's like I'm just looking for advice from either one of you.
Yeah.
I
think I worked 40 hours for a job, maybe another 20 or 30 for our business when I had a job.
Yeah.
So what's that add up to 60 or 70? Yeah. Right now, probably working closer to 80.
Yeah,
it's just nonstop. Yeah. Because I wake up first thing in the morning and texts are flying, emails are flying, and then I'm sitting on the couch with my wife at nighttime with my laptop in front of me, which she's not always happy about. But till 10 o'clock at night, not every night. I gotta set some nights aside, but
it's like
it's because I love it.
Right? Exactly. I was gonna say
it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So jumping back to why we have a tax account, the question.
Yeah. I was just joking about
No, I know it's true though. This is primarily for wholesales, novations, and fix and flips.
Oh, yeah, this wholesale.
Do you guys do any of that?
We wholesale cheap properties and sold them on.
Okay.
Yeah, we flipped a 6-unit last year. Not intentionally.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, not intentionally.
Yeah. Usually you want to hold on to something like that.
Yeah,
totally. Just it was sold for the right price, and it wasn't in a area and the moment and the time that we were in our business. We were like, we don't really want to deal with this right now. Didn't really think that we were ready for it for that area of town. So looking back, wish we didn't sell it. But
if it was right now, we would
100%.
Were you in like a money crunch at the time?
Yeah, a money crunch. It was just like stressful. We were new, I guess. It was a handful of reasons. It was also they were dangling some money out in front of us, and we've never had that before.
No.
The rabbit took the carrot.
Extremely, we sure did in our business. So, we was not really used. It was the only thing wrong with the business. It was poorly managed. So, leases were all over the place. The owner was showing up on the 1st, on the 10th, on the 15th, 20th, 22nd to collect rent.
Homes a year ago.
No leases. So. No information, no transfer of security deposit or rent roll. It was a hassle, but that's what you get when you get a 6-unit for $235,000. Right. So I mean, and we didn't have to. We put $7,000 into the building. That was it. We just painted the interior. Had a crazy
hallways.
The common area is what I meant to say. And we did we laid down some rubber mulch out back, painted the back garage doors. There's three garages out back as well. And then we had a sewer line or something that broke in the basement.
Yeah, the basement was like filled as high with water.
If anybody ever needs anything in York, Budget Rentals is amazing. Like they will get out there like that and they will clean it up like I said, very fast.
Water was filled as high.
Great job at it.
There was junk everywhere, cobwebs. You couldn't walk through it.
Yes,
I mean, those nasty basements.
It was one of the worst I've seen. And I came back and it was dry concrete throughout. Every piece of trash was gone. Like there wasn't even dust on the floor. I was like, this isn't even the same basement.
Yeah. So just imagine you're walking the property for the first time and the owner's with you and you're in the basement and he just pulls his pants down and he just starts pissing in the corner. That's the kind of building that we bought.
Oh, that actually happened.
Oh, that did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That actually happened.
Yeah. And I said, does the boiler work? I think so.
Yeah. And
that's how every question went. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's and we bought
not a good sign.
Yeah.
We bought a 5-unit off of him too. And
about a year later.
Yeah. And worked that for months. We kind of got it. So we got a great pricing out.
Yeah, but we got for
that one. Way much a
phenomenal deal.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit better.
It was definitely better condition. Parking lot. That's
never nice.
Suppose compensation is going to be.
Yes, 3 garages.
Cool.
Now, with you guys not doing as much with the wholesale deals, like how are you guys doing your acquisitions for all these units?
As far as finding the deals,
yeah.
Is that so? Yeah. So I mean, three or 3 of our deals or 4. I think I saw you updated 4 of our deals were on market. Okay. And then our other 11 deals was all off market networking. One-on-one, calling for rent signs. We don't hunt for deals as much.
Yes. The old man that we were talking about, like that was the only time I really cold called someone. It was for rent sign on a laundromat. I'm like, oh, this is the guy. I wanted to buy the laundromat.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he had multiple other buildings in town, and found out the laundromat was probably not the best choice for us. It was a bit of a distraction at the time.
Right.
So yeah, like that was the only time we really cold called. But everything else comes from going to events, talking to people, asking people for advice. Well, they give you some advice, and then, well, what about this deal? You want to look at this deal? Yeah. Over half of them came from just meetups.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I don't think we've ever pulled a deal from a meetup.
Not yet.
And you hosted your own meetups.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are doing something better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you guys like trying to, is a goal like meet with one person at least once a week for coffee or?
Yeah, we had that for about 6 months where we were meeting with 2 to 3 people a week for 6 months straight, like just hammering out as many people as we possibly can.
One-on-one conversation.
Be real estate related, even if they're, I was going to say agents, brokers, lender, it didn't matter, contractors even. We were trying to meet with everybody in the field. So
I feel like
we can beneficially both help each other. Mutual benefit.
Person-to-person interactions can be 10 times better than a phone call because you get off a phone, 30 minutes later, you might forget who that person is.
Yeah, but we were looking for contractors. I literally went from A to Z in my contacts and texted over 180 people and just asking like for referrals for anybody in the real estate world. And I got a lot of feedback. And,
that'll take some balls to do. Just like randomly text to like friends.
Yeah, people I haven't talked to in 4 years.
Exactly.
5 years.
Just like, you know a contractor by chance?
Yeah.
Anybody you trust.
Yeah. So
Now, are you guys doing your own property management or do you hire that out?
we are currently.
Yep. We do, and we have fun with it.
Yeah.
And do you guys? I mean, is it a draft?
How fun are we talking about?
It's just exciting. I don't know. Issues every day that we gotta solve.
Okay, we're talking about.
Is it like sarcastic?
We got plenty of them.
No, he's being serious.
Oh no, I'm being serious. Like I'm saying, we love what we do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Problem solving.
We definitely run across a bunch of issues. Some of them are a little more stressful than others, so I guess these others can consider.
Then you wouldn't tell them.
No.
Well, you don't gotta say.
Oh my
Just
god.
say one of our apartments.
Yeah, so one of our apartments, we got this really obese guy.
You're going crazy. So,
Seriously though, like
it's a Section 8 tenant, and we had our inspection recently. So Harrisburg they're actually pretty chill. Like they'll just send us what we need to repair, and then he just wants me to send photo back, and that's it, right? So he sends us what we needed to repair, and it was a toilet, and then one of the steps, because someone broke our concrete step, so we got to repair that, and that was it. That was pretty much it.
There was one other thing.
Carbon monoxide.
Yeah, just smoke detectors.
Yeah.
But you kind of skipped a lot right there. So we had moved this guy in a little over a year ago now, actually, and once again through Section 8, and that was kind of in the very beginning. We were like, no Section 8, and then after talking to a couple mentors, we're like, okay, yes, Section 8.
Everything's Section 8.
Actually, everything's Section 8.
Yeah.
And now it's funny because our portfolio is actually a hybrid between Section 8 market and refugees. Yeah. So it's a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Refugees, I highly recommend.
Yeah, I've heard very good things. It's cool.
Right. So this one guy, he ends up moving in. He's the second to last person in this building. And by the way, his unit is the nicest in the entire building. Like it's the best quality materials, everything, to the nines. It's a very nice unit. And so I meet up with him. Did I meet with him?
You met with him.
I met with him. And, I see him get out the car and everything.
What were you going there for?
To show him the unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, see if he would be interested, right?
Yeah.
He gets out and the whole car lifts up about half a foot. Yeah. So
seen that before?
Right. So he's got like a walker.
Yeah.
I had a funny comment. I can't say it.
Sure.
Anyway, so he's walking up and there's like 4 steps to get inside. He makes his way up there. 5 minutes later, we finally get inside. And, he's looking around. He's like, I like it. And I was like, all right, cool. Everything seems fine. Like, he seems like a very nice guy, honestly. And speaking of which, I got a conversation to tell you about after this from this guy. Okay. So he moves in and once again, this unit's completely renovated. Everything's brand new. Flooring, counters, absolutely everything. toilet even. It's all brand new. Yeah. And so about a month goes by, right? And he gives me a call. He's like, Skyler, he was like, the floors are breaking. I'm like, what do you mean the floors are breaking? He was like, they're all cracking. He's like, I tried to mop them, and I think it's just ruining the floors. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. I was like, I'll be over soon and come check it out. Go over there, and it's brand new LVP flooring. Right?
We were all there. We were actually mowing the lawn and like doing landscaping, me, you, and my dad.
Yeah.
And then
It's cool.
I can't think. He talked out the window, opens the window. He's like, hey, can you come take a look at my floor? I was like, yeah, I'll go in. And then I go in and I see it. I was like, oh, no way. I go out. I tell Skyler, yo, you got to come see this. I tell my dad, I was like, you got to come look at this. It is so bad. All right, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so brand new LVP floor.
Oh, my.
Cracked.
Dog.
Just shattered.
It's shattered.
Yeah.
Like, it's every piece of it. Like, there's
You have
no
a picture.
There's no resave.
I think I do.
We definitely do.
I was gonna say, we definitely
I think I did a
Right. So we're like, what happened? It's like when I'm mopping, like it dries up and it just ruins the floors. I'm like, I looked and I was like, dude, we have the same flooring in every other unit. They're all mopping. This has never happened before. Like,
Right.
what's going on?
Yeah.
And then we had our contractor go back the next day, right? And I had an idea of what it might be, but I just wanted, his confirmation. He was like, your boy's too big.
Oh, no.
Like, what you mean?
Man.
It was like, there's so much weight on the floor that it's cracking. Like, as he's walking on it.
It happened twice. It happened twice.
The
Like,
flooring?
we put new LVP in,
Yeah.
and then
Was,
it happened
do you
again.
use glue down?
Touch of color.
Touch of Color was the first time.
That was the
Then
first time he broke.
The second time,
Yeah, wait, there's more.
we just had our contractor do it.
Yeah, contractor, just Home Depot. I believe it was the clicks, the ones that clicked together.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we get it fixed. And then that was from Road City, actually, right? So the very first one. And then a couple months go by again, not even a couple weeks go by. He calls me up or he sends me pictures or something. I forget the exact sequence of events. He's like, it did it again. You guys are getting cheap flooring.
Oh,
Like,
my goodness.
what do you mean it's doing
That's the dust.
Like,
No, you love this call.
this is not the cheap flooring. This is the flooring that we've used on every single unit in every apartment that we have. So he was like, well, it's cracking me. I was like, send me some pictures. And he sent me pictures. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like,
Destroyed.
what are we gonna do about this? I was like, should I do like the rollout laminate? You can't crack it that way, right?
Good idea.
Yeah, so a good idea. And then we had my a whole other contractor go out, and we're like, do you mind analyzing the situation? He told me the same thing. He was like, your boy's too big. All right. Yeah, right. So we ended up, what did we do after that? Did we get a couple replacement board? I don't
even know, but it's fixed now. We don't know how long
But
that's
is he
gonna
still
be.
there?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
And
We just had a toilet issue.
Not going well. Hopefully everything's going well.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he broke our toilet.
I was gonna say from the inspection it sounds like I was wondering.
Yeah, brand new toilet.
just
He sits on it.
Too much weight.
Dude, a toilet.
Wow.
You're right.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Good thing you didn't get a wall mount.
Oh my god, yeah. That whole thing was just
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be a nightmare.
Just one of those tenant situations that you could call fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fun to talk about.
Situations at all, or
We had a car crash into the front of our building like
That's a pretty
a month ago. Night.
Yeah.
Now I say crash into, and I don't know where I was.
You're at
but
the beach.
I was at the beach. He FaceTimed me, and he just has the camera already on it, and the back end of the car is like.
just stick.
Yeah. It made no sense how the car was.
I had no idea. It was up on the sidewalk, up in the yard, and it was like this far from the front porch. So it didn't hit our building at all. And the cops came and the fire department came and verified the gas meters were right there. It just missed it.
Because I was like, I just need to make sure that because literally the gas was right next to it.
Yeah.
So I just need to make sure you guys need to inspect this and look at it and make sure everything's fine. And they did, and they were like, everything's good. Insurance called 2 weeks later. It was like, hey, you guys filing anything? And I was like, no, we don't.
How much are you gonna give us?
We don't need to. I don't want to go through the hassle and nothing's broken.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong.
Like the yard had a little bit of tire mark, but
That's scary though.
yeah. Everybody was fine too, so that was good. But
good podcast. Good story for the podcast.
yeah. Definitely have had a handful of interesting tenant scenarios.
Yeah, almost always related to inherited tenants,
Always.
not tenants that we place.
Always.
Have you done any evictions yet?
Yeah, quite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only one so far.
Three.
Really?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Inherited tenant though.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. It seems to be the.
Yeah. He's the eviction guy.
No, what?
That guy's- I couldn't even tell you the process.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have it pretty packed down to like a T for the eviction process? Like it's pretty quick now for you?
Yeah. File when you tell, like, give them a warning and like let them know, like, if rent's not by the 6th, like, we're filing by the 6th. If the 6th is on a Saturday, they're getting filed Monday.
Do you use Chad's app?
You know what? I don't. And after I did this last one, within the last month, but it was before the last Lancaster meetup. And when I was there, I'm like, why am I not using it?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna start using it moving forward. So I wrote it down in my notes just to make sure, like, I refer to it because I definitely need to utilize that. I want to try that.
And just to reference what we're talking about,
Yeah.
if you guys
Ideas.
go back and watch a podcast with Chad Gallagher,
Yep.
yeah, that's the last name? Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing guest, absolutely brilliant guy. He's
Yeah,
a freaking
guy. He's doing
nerd
some
off
big
the
stuff.
wall. I love it. It's hilarious.
He's great at being to.
He is absolutely amazing. He owns this really cool winery. You should go check that out too. But
We'll be there Saturday night.
will you?
Yeah.
No way. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
Saturday.
Awesome.
But yeah, anyways, he created this app to help people with the eviction process, pretty much, where it's like instead of going through, I guess, the attorneys and that whole process of trying to get it filed, so you just simply log into the app, give it. I guess I haven't used it, so I can't really tell you everything that happened. Sure. But I guess filling all
That's a good thing.
Makes it easier.
Yeah. Right. That is a good thing for now.
Yeah. Court sit.
Of course it.
Of course, yep. So go check that out.
Downtown City Hall or I guess the courthouse, you name it.
Yeah.
They know Gavin by name. Because I think it's a great thing. I saw in, I'm trying to check on the status of a permit we're working on.
Oh, well, that and that.
I say, oh, I'm calling about this. Yeah, you probably talked to Gavin. Oh, Gavin. I know. Gavin was in here yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course he was.
I brought them girls donuts before, like just.
Yeah. So,
a friend of
There's more
ours
than this,
actually told me, he was like, you got to give them pizza and donuts,
Yeah.
different stuff like
Just
that.
drop it off and leave. Like I don't even.
And so, like,
I
some
don't
of
even
our-
know who it was.
conversions from 4 unit to 5 unit. Let's talk townhouse to 2 unit. It's like, how do I say, critical to being in a good relationship with those folks down there. It's just people.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
A
Because
mentor of ours told us, like, when you stand in front of these people at the city hall meeting, it's just you're talking to other people.
right.
It's not like it's a big system. It's 8 people making a
Explain to
decision.
the
It's not the senator. It's not the mayor of York. It's just.
Yeah.
Right.
These people didn't go to college to have degrees to go sit on the hearing board, the hearing zoning board of York City.
More of a volunteer position anyway, but they have good motives for the city.
Yeah, they're doing good things and things that I wouldn't want to do. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, let's talk about that process of you guys turning that 4 unit into a 5 unit and changing the zoning and everything.
We'll talk about the listing and who we got it from. And stuff.
Yeah. This was our very first deal, so we just created an LLC entity for the first time together.
Wait, our paperwork to come back. Actually,
Yeah, we did get our paperwork back.
took
And
so
the deal
long.
popped up.
That's a big deal, though, switching from a 4 to a 5 unit for your first deal.
Yeah, it
Residential.
was interesting for sure.
Jobs.
So this deal popped up, listed for like 120, and it was listed as a 4 unit, but it said in the description, like, this has an illegal unit. You can do what you want with it. Figure it out. It's like a super short description.
Okay.
It's like, oh, this is a deal.
Yeah.
So we went and looked at it like the next day.
Yeah.
And it was like a group showing. So there was like multiple other investors in here.
Yeah, there's probably a half dozen people at least.
Yeah.
When
We're
we were.
never gonna get this thing. Like, everybody here probably thinks this is a screaming hot deal. Well, when you walk in the front hallway, the wall on the left is a brick wall, but it has plaster on it, and the wall looked like this.
Yeah, a big siege.
This is a big
Really.
belly.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why
A lot of people just stay in
none of the investors wanted it. The building next door was a fire damaged building. It was totally burnt out completely.
So we walked through there.
We bought it for 142. So we did like a price escalation, got it for 142. We were just as amped as you can believe.
I still have a screenshot on my phone from when him and I were on the phone, and all I need to do is see that screenshot, and I know exactly where I was on 83 coming home from work.
I was in my garage jumping up and down.
Yeah.
A possible 5 unit for 142.
So
Yeah.
and we knew this thing was a hunk of junk. But we again took way longer than we wanted to because we didn't know what we were doing. But probably like 8 months or so,
8 months, yeah.
to renovate that whole building because it was fully
From start to finish to like refinance.
4 tenants in place. So you move a tenant out, renovate the unit, move a tenant out, renovate the common area, et cetera. Paint the front of the building. We had to add parking in the rear. So to get to the zoning part, we were like, this is a 5-unit. We have to rent it as a 5-unit. Like, Why has no one fixed this issue?
Why is it illegal?
Right.
So I'll let Gavin take over because, of course, this is when the conversation started with the city hall.
Yeah.
And they knew him first, last name.
Yeah, so Nancy Griffin was running the zoning for York City. She oversaw everything as regards to zoning, and
She's a key character in this story.
yeah, she is. So I was calling everybody at downtown at City Hall, and they all pointed me to Nancy, and I just like had to make sure to check all the boxes, and Nancy is the one I need to talk to. So I took a couple of tries to get Nancy on the phone, but she eventually then gave me a call back. And after I called her one day, and she gave me a call back right away, and she was talking to me about this deal, filling me in. Oh, you're going to need a zoning here. You know, you're going to have to submit an application for a zoning determination request.
Yeah.
So went online. I was like, how do you do that? What is that? What is your website? She walked me through everything. She was this very sweet lady, and built a really good relationship with her because I had a dozen questions. So every single time I ran into something, hey Nancy, it's Gavin again. I know. Gavin. Yes. Yeah. All the time. Like she literally just had my last 4 digits in my phone. So mesmerized. She is. She took some medical leave for this is wild. I know. She took medical leave for about 8 to 10 months, and a guy by the name of Monty McMillan jumped in. And he's great too. And he was the assistant training to take Nancy's spot while we went through this process. So now we deal with Monty, but Nancy's back.
Okay.
So the one that
excited.
Nancy's like, she's awesome. I hope Nancy's watching this because I love her.
Sign over to her.
Yeah, so we're going through another one right now too, not to get off topic, but so Monty was helping out with that. He was on vacation, so Nancy jumped in, and it's like, we're back. So
I remember you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out. It's fun.
So what were the requirements?
So the requirements we needed to have was square footage in the building and parking. And those were the city only cares about parking.
Yeah.
The square footage can be tailored with, like you can, that's negotiable. But parking is a non-negotiable. They will not negotiate parking. Makes sense. If you're trying to add more units and livable space to the city, there needs to be equitable parking, excuse me.
Right.
So Grant was like, dude, perfect. We'll just take out, like we didn't even take out the tree at the time. He was like, we're just going to go into the yard and add 2 more parking spots. And I was like, sounds great. Hey, Nancy, we have the parking taken care of. Like, here's a picture. And she's like, did you get permits for all this stuff? And I'm like, oh, oopsie. I'm so sorry. I didn't know we had to do that. This is the first, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Like, no worry. Just next time you want to do anything, just give us a call. Like, and I was like, okay, so sorry, kiss ass a little bit, pretty good at that. So I don't know if I'm proud about that or not, but
hey, whatever works.
It's whatever gets the deal done, right?
Exactly.
So you went through that whole process, and then the last thing was just the density. So of the livable square footage spot, and it was like what 356 or 360 in that spot, so pretty tiny efficiency apartment.
Oh, the apartment? Yeah, it's about 350.
But what we did is we pulled up comps and we showed them like the history of this building and showed them, like Grant drew up
I did a floor plan.
And
So we put together like a whole presentation. If you've ever been in front of City Hall, like you have a panelist, like 8 people up there, and you have to go up to the podium and you present your case.
Yeah. I've seen it in movies, but
it's fun. It was a great time.
So this night that we had the zoning hearing, no one was there. We were the only line item on the agenda for that night. And the guy was like, oh, well, you guys are the only ones tonight, so
come on up.
We're going to make this worth your while, and like we're going to take our time with this. We stood at that podium for an hour and a half, and no one else was in the room. It was just us versus the panelists, and they just drilled us. I mean, we were very prepared. I think we had a whole packet built out. Every single one of them had their own packet in their hand, which is a requirement, of course.
The only reason I would say we were very eager because this deal worked as a 4-unit, and we had plans and ideas. We would have had to have gotten permits if we needed to, because we were going to knock out another wall and convert that whole first floor because the electric wasn't split down there and stuff. So we were just going to turn it into, one big unit, and it would have been like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment because that actually would have been a 2-bedroom
with 2 kitchens too.
Yeah, with 2 kitchens. So we were like, this is our backup plan, and this should be rent for close to double what we could get right now. So we had a backup plan. We knew it would work, but as a 5-unit,
it works a lot better.
Great, and it turned out to be a run. So they approved. Long story, sum it up. They approved us of 5 units.
They approved that night, like while you're.
Yep, it was super easy. It was very cost efficient.
Did they have to come together?
I will say that they were like, one guy was just like pushing back on everybody else. Everybody else was kind of for the idea. Like, yeah, we need more housing. These guys are okay. This guy was like pushing back on all the technicalities and stuff. And I think he was doing that intentionally, not that he was ever going to decline.
Yeah.
But at the very end, they said, we like you guys. We think, we think you're responsible landlords. And ultimately, like, that was the last thing they said before you're approved. That's awesome. Because
that's a good feeling.
We care. And also it was our first deal. So like our whole heart's in it. It's not just another number.
They can feel that
on a
energy.
balance sheet.
Right, exactly. So we had pictures of before and after, and this was literally like, not the last step actually, but it was one of like the last steps. And we had before and after pictures, and they were super. They loved it. They loved seeing it. And we told them what our motto is and what we do, and what we buy distressed buildings here. We fix them up and turn around, make them look nice, and rent them to nice families and people who are working and contributing and paying taxes. And we vet our tenants, diligently, and so they're happy to do that.
Yeah. So if you want to talk the numbers on that.
Let's talk. Sure. That changes the game from
So
residential.
we have a very similar. So
to commercial.
our second property ever was that 5-unit. We got it for 165. So very close to your 142 number.
Yeah, totally.
And this was actually in very good condition to begin with.
Nice.
Not very good, but it was in livable condition.
I'm sure I would say it's very good. Standards
so-
are low.
Are they?
Totally.
All right. So 142 acquired the property.
Yep.
Right. And then did you guys end up having to pull any permits after you did the parking lot job, anything like that?
No, we didn't have to pull it.
Any of that?
We didn't pull any permits. I don't know if we had to.
Sure.
I think we put 52 in the building.
Yep, 52.
Which is like crazy to think now because we put more than that into a 2-unit.
Yeah.
But we were just like doing things ourselves and hiring like a handyman
First
to do
deal
a
too.
apartment. Yeah, we didn't have any contractor list. We didn't have any systems in place.
And
So we got it done super cheaply.
I was gonna say, who taught you like the commercial asset of like running numbers, learning the NOI?
Cap rates.
Because it's completely different with running
yeah.
numbers from residential.
Little bit of YouTube, little bit of
Pockets.
mentors,
Definitely mentors, bigger pockets, certainly. Yeah, helped a couple of those. Yeah,
and also they're winging it.
mentors though.
Yeah. See what happened.
So when the day came, like we had everything in place for the appraiser too. We put a binder together. Again, a little overkill. We don't do this anymore, but put a binder together to give to the
At least a lot easier.
Yeah, with comps,
They were great.
NOI, and like before pictures, after pictures. So and turns out they didn't care about any of that. They just cared about the NOI.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that building appraised for 325.
325. Yeah, 52 into it, and
So
Nice. So are you
Pulled out, like,
42 plus 52? Right? So 194 all
Yep.
in?
And we were projecting with it, a worst case scenario, 4 units to be worth like 250. I was looking at our numbers,
yeah,
which would have got us our cash back. So we likely would have had some closing costs there that out of pocket, but nothing crazy. So it turned out to be great.
I think we took less than 80% less.
70,
Also,
73%.
because at the time we are like, well, we don't want to hurt our cash flow too much.
Yeah.
But we want to take some cash out. So we kind of like split the difference. But now I think now in this position we would took the cash because we know we can make more on that cash than that cash flow.
And just
That's a very cool story.
yeah.
Great learning experience, especially for a first property. It's really impressive you guys were able to take like that leap and just figure it out.
Yeah, you have to ask Chad about that one.
So that was Chad Gallagher's property.
Yeah, Chad Gallagher. So we didn't know Chad at the time.
Yeah.
But we saw who owned it. We're like, dude, no way. And like we've heard of Chad, and so it was cool. That was our opening introduction to him. Hey, we bought your 4/5 unit, and then he's like, you guys need to come back next month and do a presentation on this.
Yeah.
So we did. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. Did a little Burr presentation with that as an example.
Yeah. And the biggest thing
We just bought another 5-unit from Chad last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also in York?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are all your properties in York?
Yes, I have one in Lancaster and a couple in Spring Grove. I grew up in Spring Grove. Okay. Everything we own is in York. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, a question for you, because you're buying from another investor. Like, are you still getting it at a good discount for you to do the burst strategy, or are you guys doing straight DSCR loan?
Oh yeah, we sure.
Yeah, we got a little over 58 units. So I mean, we're okay with that. Our numbers work for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll be content on that. And we our budget, things have definitely gone a lot better now.
Yeah.
After 6, 7, 8 projects now.
Process down.
We
For your goal of actually buying these properties, is one of your goals to be $0 into these deals?
Yes.
want to make money too. Like
We want to make.
It's like,
We want to not use our money, and we also want to make money on the refi, and then keep the property.
just keep pumping.
and then do you have a certain dollar per door of cash flow you're hoping to get at the end?
It's relatively low. Our average cash flow per door is about 175.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
It was a little bit lower.
So it definitely is a little bit lower, but we're pulling out 80% most of the time.
Yeah.
And funnel the business and just long-term game. I mean,
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're in a scaling buying mode right now.
yeah,
Try to get as much.
Like the cash flow means nothing to us other than staying alive.
Yeah.
yeah,
I just want to buy.
Cover the overhead.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got you.
So what's the like goal in regards to unit count?
Oh,
As many as possible.
Yeah.
yeah.
We actually, I can't
I
say
think
that.
that there's a. I don't know that we
We talked
have.
about a number. I know we talk about
I mean, I'm
a
pretty-
number as far as
Or do you have like a monthly, like I want 6 figures a month, or I want this, like you have like a monthly number?
I do.
same.
Like I want to make $100,000 a month
Yeah.
one day.
You too?
$100 million worth of real estate.
$100 million versus with
NBA.
Fun round numbers.
And then 100%. Dream big. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the same goal as we got into it. We want 100,000 a month apiece.
Yeah.
So it's one of the goals and continuing to grow. I mean, we're definitely nowhere close to that yet, but we're getting.
Oh, you get at a great pace. 24. You like happens. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would
You're gonna
trade.
trade. You're gonna trade what you have now
Yeah.
for something better.
1030.
Yeah, totally. We talk about that all the time. Like this is not like we're not going to invest in New York City forever.
Right.
As much as we will help it out, and we're going to do our part, and that's how we're going to start and work our way up the mountain.
Yeah. There's like the learning grounds, pretty
Totally.
just to be able to expand later on and
Just
build out your team. Be able to continue to grow that way.
Yeah.
And then eventually we want to definitely start on larger projects as well. Like you guys have this building. Like this is something we'd love to tackle at this phase.
yeah.
I want to talk about it too. Like, do you guys enjoy this like commercial office space compared to commercial residential, or like which one do you like better?
I think personally, I enjoy the apartments.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love walking down the street and counting the buildings.
That one's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. Do you guys still go to pick up rent? Like
No, we get a little bit of mailbox money, but everything else we use Rent Ready.
Inherited
Yeah.
tenants.
That's what
We sent out.
you started using rent ready as well, but
Yeah.
before then, well, even still up to present day, I'd like to go out and like it's such a good feeling.
Maybe you shouldn't say that.
That is a good feeling.
I'm going to the bank, like we
It's
earned
just a
this.
safety issue.
I knew that's what you were saying. Feeling I should.
There's ways to work around that too.
Don't follow my car, please.
Oh yeah, true. I wasn't even thinking of that.
Is that where your mind was going?
It's just safety, yeah.
The safety of me time, like people trying to rob me.
Yeah.
Worried about that.
Never know. It's a crazy world out there.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just fine. It'll be-
Allison Hill, it can get a little rough, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys live close to your portfolio?
We do. I think
Nice. That's very convenient.
the furthest investment property from
Like 10, 15 minutes.
like 15
Ah, great.
Yeah.
everything's within that radius.
A mentor told us, or told me anyway, because I was working on that 3 unit in Lancaster when I first met him. He's like, "Why you buy a property in Lancaster?" I said, "It's a great market. What do you mean?" He's like, "How are you going to manage a property if you can't see it from your back door?" And I'm like, "Well, it would be a lot easier, I guess."
That is true. I think starting out, that's a great way. And just to be able to get the hang of it, get control of it, understand like the actual process of being a landlord. But if you want to grow and scale, you can't have every house in your backyard.
Yeah.
Anybody say otherwise?
For some
Everyone's
people,
got their different
sure.
ideas.
Nah,
When we had one 10 minutes away, right down the city.
Yeah.
It was night and day. Because that one I said I renovated myself. I was driving 40 minutes each way.
So how you,
Yeah, it was 2 hours at a time. I mean, each night, like that around 2 more hours, you could be working on a property or looking at deals or something.
yeah, we've run across the same situation. Like in the very beginning, we had no fucking capital to start, and we like to do like innovations, hotels per se. And there's a couple of those properties. Like we had one in Lancaster, over on Dahlia Road. One of our very first innovations, and to this day, still one of our best, not best, but most profitable deals that we've done.
Yeah.
Where I mean, we only walked away with 42,000, but still, that was a great feeling for us.
And straight win.
Especially, but it was, once again, it was just me, my girlfriend at the time, and some of her buddies, some of my buddies. We just drive down there every single day. I get off work, go there, just work. On the property itself.
Gotcha.
No, wait, not Dahlia Road?
Yeah.
Yo, he went on vacation. I was down there with
No, that's so cap. I'm gonna call it out right now. No, I swear to God. I'll pull up receipts right now.
Y'all went to Naples, Florida.
Yeah, there was like,
With his friends and girlfriend.
actually, Marco Island. But
It was the Hershey one where I was on vacation.
But I was on vacation that whole one.
Not the
Majority of
whole
that entire thing. It was like 3 weeks of rehab. I was there for like 2.5 of it. You had the last 3 days of work. And you were
Punch out.
No, we actually get along really well.
I can tell you.
Yeah, you guys are great.
And some people probably could really beef him, but we're not.
Nah, yeah, that's 20 years right there. You know what I mean?
It is.
So you
Sitting
can't-
here, I can say started in him.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
100%.
But that's another thing I want to touch base on because we've only ever had one other partnership on our podcast.
I was wondering. I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
because I thought
It was Isaiah and David.
David, yeah.
Isaiah Shickley and David.
Winner.
Oh, I know those guys.
Yeah, very cool guys. Love them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, they're good guys. I met them at Chad's meetup.
Yeah. They were our second guest.
Yeah.
Our second guest on the podcast. So they're like, well,
Nice.
Isaiah's at least the same age as us. David's actually about your guys' age. Yeah, maybe a year or two older. He was like 28, 29.
Yeah, those guys are full-time real estate. I know when
They both are.
met them, I was still at my job, and I was like, dang.
Right?
Yeah.
Doing it.
I need,
Awesome.
I need to leave my job.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of individuals in between the gap of them and you guys, and a lot of them have tried partnerships, and a lot of them have failed partnerships.
Yeah, we've heard about a lot of horror stories.
Exactly. We've actually, I mean,
I can't relate. I'm blessed to say.
no, not at all. Right. But what do you think is like the reason for why they might be failing in partnerships versus kind of what you guys do and what we do?
Expectations.
Yeah. Trust.
Trust.
Honesty.
Trust and honesty. Yeah. I mean, like, when I'm not feeling something, I'm telling him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we have hard conversations
We do.
at least once or twice a week.
Yeah.
I would say.
I grew up in a team oriented. It's we before me. That's just like cliche, but that's just like that's how I am, and that's how it will always be. Yeah. So I just this is yeah.
I would also add to that. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Before I say it, I would also add to that is respect, because
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do what we're doing just myself.
I couldn't agree more. It's
Because
very mutual.
Like
Extremely
me by myself and him by himself added, like, say 1 + 1 is 2, but us together is not 2.
That's 4.
No.
Yeah,
Right. Totally.
it's way more because together.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more energy, and
Right.
I just said to my wife today when we were driving this morning, I was like, we dropped the kid off on my Yeah, I know, right? It's like, man, do I love this boy or not? Jeez, yeah. We dropped our son off at preschool today.
Drop that kid off.
And we were driving by. Yeah, right. Like, oh God! Please edit that. My heart just dropped when I said that. Like, I don't need that. No, but that's staying in. Yeah, that's just staying in. No, it's all good. He'll watch it in 10, 14 years.
Yeah, let's just
Certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're literally driving home from there, and I had a thought about Grant, and I'm like, I need to relay this, and that. And I'm driving, and I see his name pop up on my phone probably 4 seconds after that thought. And I'm like, hon, can you ask ChatGPT real quick if there's a way that you can find out how many text messages you've sent and received from an individual on an iPhone? And she did real quick, and she's like, I don't have my phone. I'm like, there's mine. And she grabbed, there's not, according to ChatGPT. I was so disappointed because I wanted to know, because it's probably times 100 of what me and my wife text.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody else out of the water. So I was just, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not stop.
We communicate all the time. Like
Communication.
that's another thing too. Is my point is communication. Like,
No, it's true. I mean, there's not a day that's gone by over the past 3 years that I don't think we've talked to each other.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
yeah, great.
What do we think?
Like, especially after you spoke to some of those people who would have failed.
We're at. Yeah, what'd you gather?
I think what you touched on is definitely a majority of it. Respect, trust. Respect and trust are 2 huge ones, because if somebody feels as though they're not being respected in the company, then following, they're going to slack off, right? And which is eventually just going to bring the company down.
This is true.
You'll burn. Trust as well. If you don't trust your partner, which there was a very well-known partnership within the real estate industry locally that has recently fallen apart, which was incredible, like, to hear, because they've been together for over 20 years. I think you know what I'm talking about, which is absolutely insane. The thing that went wrong there was trust. It was It was somebody.
Wow.
One of the partners ended up doing some side deals that this one didn't know about. Even after doing over 2,000 transactions together, he still felt as though, I guess, that was okay, and that's what made that partnership crumble. So now there's lawsuit after lawsuit going on. Their properties are falling apart. It's really a big deal, to be honest. So it's just that trust factor. It's like you need to know and just be 100% transparent with the other person. Like, what are you doing? What am I doing? Are we on the right page? Are we going? Sure. Are we aligned with the same goals? Are we working towards the same thing?
If there's a problem, just be straight up.
Yeah. Speak about it. Yeah. Love that. What else do you think? Do you have anything to add to that? I mean, I'm curious.
That's pretty much it. And having arguments is good because it builds your, relationship as well. Yeah. We don't have that. We really don't.
Just disagreements. Definitely. You don't.
I don't think there's ever been a point where she's raised her voice and me, I've raised my voice.
No. It's like
I don't think that.
People tell us it's like a marriage, and through the partnership, I realize compromise is number one. So sometimes I may not like something, but he wants to go with it, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let you go with it, or vice versa.
Yeah, it was definitely a little more interesting at the beginning, but we have a pretty good flow now. We have pretty defined.
You gotta figure that shit out.
Right, yeah. We talked about it, but it's also like, wait, who does this now? Things that we talked about that were like, wait a second, there's a lot more.
And that's going to continue to develop over time as well.
Totally.
We've tried
as we grow, and as we, as in all of us here, grow, there are tasks that are going to be dwindled out. Yeah, now it's like, okay, who's managing these people or so what?
And there's been multiple occasions where me and her will sit down together and try to figure out whose responsibilities are whose. And over time, things just start to overlap again. It's like, okay, well, now I'm doing this, and this, and she's doing that, and that. I'm supposed to be doing that, and she's supposed to be doing this, but it's like, it works.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. How would you define your complementary skills if you have them, or what's your lane versus hers?
I love math.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes the numbers and stuff. So, but I also do numbers as well. So sometimes we'll do it separate, just like how you guys do it, or sometimes we'll do it together. But I guess I would say I'm the visionary. I like having the systems in place. I like building the company.
She's organized.
Nice.
Very nice. Sure, everyone's doing what they need to do and stuff.
It helps me out a ton because as a child, honestly, I was a very organized person. But for whatever reason, as I've grown up, it's just less and less and less. I feel like Stefanie's just picking up whatever I'm fucking.
Nice.
I'm like, I'm his assistant.
Who makes decisions? Who makes decisions for renovations? Let's say a project.
We kind of do.
Yeah, I mean, can you give more of a specific example?
What color are you gonna paint the walls?
Well, it sounds like you guys. It sounds like you guys.
I picked the last. I picked our office, and you're like, yeah, I like that. He's colorblind. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, not really. Sorry, my wife just tells me I'm colorblind. So, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. No, I mean, when it does come to color, that shit, that's all her. Designs of stuff. I mean, it's very just back and forth. Hey, I like these ones. Yeah. She likes these ones. Is there any that?
Sometimes I'm just you just choose. Whoever's on that appointment, they'll just choose. It just depends. We kind of know what each other, likes just because we've been around each other so long.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how sometimes we already know what we're gonna say. I'll say a price, and he already knows the price. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you guys have the same experiences because we're the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? You've seen the same deals. You
guys
same.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You finish each other's sentences, or you just say it.
I think we've done it 4 times so far today.
Yeah.
It's usually every single podcast. If you want to go back and watch them,
we'll be wait.
At some point where we'll say the exact same sentence
at the same time.
It's again.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I definitely heard that. I feel like just one.
No, it's awesome that you guys are honestly going so strong. Your relationship is still so healthy, and you guys are just growing. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, I just can't express how much fun it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel very blessed to even be living this life and to have left my job because it was something that I built up to in my mind so long.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, and I did not expect to leave my job this year.
Yeah.
Neither did he. Yeah. There was no plan to leave in 2024.
Yeah, the plan was weird. Originally, again, potentially 25 early.
Maybe. Yeah. It was always just something in the future.
We knew it was coming. Just didn't know exactly when.
Can you say how much, this may be too personal, but can you say how much you had saved in order to quit your job?
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months of expenses. Yeah. Take on a run.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, I mean, I was maybe a little more conservative. Mm-hmm. In regards to that, probably a little over a year. I was shooting for a year and a half worth of expenses just because I didn't know what would happen. But
Better be safe than sorry.
I mean, we didn't skip a beat. We kind of came into an opportunity with someone in town who was doing a lot of real estate transactions, and they offered us an opportunity to work with him, and so made the transition a lot easier.
Yeah.
And like when I was thinking about you, like if you can just find some, even like way less job in real estate, it's going to be beneficial to you.
Okay, so sorry. Kind of what you were just saying, actually. So one of our good buddies, we'll call him a mentor, I guess. He's just recently opened his own mortgage brokerage. So I'm thinking about going through and getting my mortgage license, and then just having that as like a safety net. Right? So I can quit the W-2. I'm still technically, a full-time entrepreneur, but in case there's ever a time where I have no money from the real estate deals that we're doing, then I can fall back and hopefully find a mortgage for somebody and just knock that out real quick.
Are you going to hate that?
No, I love mortgaging. Okay. So
what do you do now?
If you watch Bigger Pockets, Mortgage Mondays. Right?
I don't watch Bigger Pockets a lot.
I'm a forklift operator. So
okay.
Just straight up blue collar.
Yeah.
Nothing special at all.
I just, from my experience, is like, it might be a step up, but if it's still not your business that you're working on, it's still could be just as hard.
Oh no, I completely agree. I think
you would figure it out.
I mean, I definitely would, and I would love to honestly just take the business full time and not have to have a backup plan or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just that ease of mind, I feel like, is what it is. And honestly, I should just fucking quit.
That's all we're gonna take all from the team.
You quit way before we even partnered.
Well, I got my real estate license. I started with that, and
nice.
Yeah, she started as an agent,
but I'm pretty much full time investing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Just created at 23, 24.
I got at 20, but yeah, I'm 24 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. So no, I mean, it's definitely gonna be like my next big step. It's just full time real estate. It sounds so nice to say.
Yeah. Making the jump, you'll have to sink or swim. I mean, figure it out.
And that's why I
think I got a lot of things in you already.
Mindset switch. Yeah. Like if you add that, because I've talked to a lot of people have this exact conversation. They all say the same thing, pretty much, or along the same lines.
Yeah, same here. I mean, people go to tell me there's just past a year at least.
There's just zero doubt in my mind. Zero.
Because we
literally
with our parents in the basement. So.
Oh my gosh, it's even better.
Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah.
My reaction wasn't as true. I was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. I love it. But I heard it first.
Sometimes I wish I did.
Not really, but
no. Yeah, you wanted to move out right away. Like I'm supposed to be old.
Yeah.
As soon as I went to college, I'm like, freedom. Wow, I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Yeah. Never
yeah.
Yeah.
But wish I could go the other way around. Wish I never went to college. I probably would have never went to college.
I wouldn't never went to college either.
I just probably know what I know now.
Yeah.
I really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cal U over near Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah. I did business finance and a minor in marketing.
Yeah.
There for 1 year. And then I sold a lot of drugs and they kicked me out. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get up and running.
No, I knew like
Funnel some.
a half a semester through, I was like, oh, I won't be here next year. Like I just wanted to do real estate. So I was like, let me just try to make some money while I'm here and fuck off afterwards.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, overall,
thank you. Truly
this was
actually
sure.
Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, definitely.
Great.
Heck yeah.
Finally meet you. Second time meeting you.
Yeah.
You guys have anything you want to say to the audience before we head out? Any tips?
Oh yeah, if you guys
goals,
need some office space, what's the address?
17 East Market Street.
There you go.
34 offices. We're approaching 50% occupancy.
There you go.
So yeah, great prices.
Awesome. So we'll make sure to leave you guys with contact information down below.
Perfect.
So if you guys have any questions in regards to, rentals, real estate, need office space, definitely hit them up. With that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thanks so much.
Peace.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was awesome, guys.
Fun. Yeah.
That was a good one.